On this 27th Sunday of Ordinary Time, Year A 2023, the liturgical readings draw our attention to what is expected from us as stewards in the vineyard of the Lord. Here are a couple of questions that can help us reflect on today's Sunday readings. Which expectations does the landowner expect from his tenants and his servants who are sent? What will happen to the tenants who refused to welcome the servants that were sent to them? Finally, which figurative usage of the vineyard can we get from these liturgical readings of this Sunday? As a recap, for the last 2 Sundays, the Gospel readings have mentioned several times the word vineyard. More specifically, starting from the 25th Sunday, we heard the landowner who hired workers all day long to work in the vineyard. Last Sunday, which was the 26th Sunday, we listened to the 2 sons who were asked to go and work in the vineyard, but only one went in the vineyard to work. Today, on this 27th Sunday of Ordinary Time, Year A 2023, we have heard a parable of the landowner who planted the vineyard, hired tenants to take care of it while he was away. More importantly, in the first reading, we heard the mention of the vineyard that produced sour grapes. Hearing all these mentions about the vineyard, one may wonder and ask, what is a vineyard? It simply means a plantation of grape-bearing vines. In respect to these Sunday readings and the Bible usage, the word vineyard is used to refer to 2 things. 1, it refers to the people of Israel. Why? Because in the first reading taken from Prophet Isaiah, we hear this: yes, the vineyard of the Lord is the house of Israel. Moreover, the reference to Israel as the vineyard of the Lord is more amplified in the responsorial psalm of today, which says, the vineyard of the Lord is the house of Israel. All this proves that Israel as a vineyard was created or planted by God, who led them out of Egypt to the promised land, and it is the same God who takes care of them. The second usage of the word vineyard refers to the church, the people of God, you and me today. What does the landowner expect from us as the vineyard? In the light of today's gospel passage, God as the landowner expects from us 2 important things. 1, responsibility and accountability. 2, harvest good fruits or to bear good produce. In a more detailed manner, let us look at the 2 great expectations from God one by one. Responsibility and accountability. It is a fact that each one of us was born, found the earth, found the water in the oceans, found rivers, and found plants growing. In other words, God created such things before we were born, and therefore we are mere stewards. We are called to use such things responsibly because it is God who has given them to us, and we should be aware that accountability is expected from us because we are only stewards. It is just like a landlord who has hired his house to the tenants. But when the caretaker comes for payment at the end of the month, sometimes the story changes. As tenants, don't insult or generate quarrels, but simply pay or explain in a more mature manner. But don't make it a habit of explaining every month, because even the landlord needs some money and he needs also to enjoy the fruits of his labor. The second aspect that God expects from us is a good harvest of grapes or fruits. The main reason why the landowner planted the vineyard, leased it to the tenants, as recorded in the gospel passage, is to have fruits or produce. In fact, after planting the vineyard, he made a wine press as a preparation to make wine from the grapes harvested by his tenants. By the way, did the tenants harvest any grapes? We are not told in the gospel passage. However, it seems that they were either enjoying too much the produce from the vineyard, such that they were drunk, and therefore they forgot that they were tenants, and even they went ahead and tortured and killed the servants that were sent to them. They were using the produce to enjoy themselves instead of being responsible and accountable to the one who planted the vineyard. Today, as a church, we are the vineyard of the Lord. But the question is, what kind of fruits do we produce? Hatred, jealousy, unforgiving, unfaithfulness, avarice, etc. All that are sour grapes that are unwanted. However, we are expected to be accountable as stewards and be responsible at the same time. In the family, does a father give good fruits, such as an exemplary behavior in the family? Does a mother behave well in the presence of children and in the public? As sons and daughters, do we have all what it takes to behave well in our families, in public places, and wherever we are? What can we learn from this parable? On this 27th Sunday of Ordinary Time, year A 2023, we learn the following. 1. We are stewards in this world. Nothing belongs to us. As Job says, naked I was born, naked I will return. 2. God sends messengers to minister to us, including warning us to abandon bad ways. For example, a story is told of a boy who told his father about his dream. His son dreamed that 2 pigs, one very slim and the second one very fat. When the father heard about the dreams, he said, "What is the meaning of those 2 pigs?" The boy sighed and said, "The slim one represents my mother." Then the father asked him, "What of the very fat pig then?" The boy looked down and said, "It represents a woman that you go out with every weekend. You send the money to her to buy good food. You buy her good clothes. But to my mother, you give her nothing apart from insults and kicks." You can imagine how the father felt at that moment. God sends messengers and prophets to minister to us. Let us not ignore them. Finally, let us keep communication between us and God, because the tenants had cut communication between them and the landowner by killing all the servants that were sent to them. Keeping communication means to pray, as the second reading suggests through St. Paul. To conclude, on this 27th Sunday of Ordinary Time, year A 2023, we are invited to bear good fruits because as a church, we are the vineyard of the Lord. Amen. Have a blessed Sunday.